So hi, my name is Evan Weisel, and thanks. I'm principal of W2 Communications and co-founder. And thanks for joining me today on our series of interviews with the Cybersecurity Impact Award judges. This is our second annual event. Today with me is Naomi Eide, senior editor at CIO Dive. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks so much for having me.
Absolutely. So before I get into your background and let you tell folks who are watching all about yourself and what you do, the Cybersecurity Impact Awards, I think you were a judge last year as well, so thanks for doing it again, is a program that we put together with CBRE, the CyberWire, the Washington Business Journal, and a few other organizations to basically spotlight and shine a spotlight on the cybersecurity companies that are headquartered here in the DC, Maryland, Virginia region, an area that we feel like definitely does not get its fair share of accolades or you talk about the region, San Francisco or New York always seem to come up, or other parts of the country seems to come up as opposed to DC. And we really want to do our part in kind of recognizing the tech innovation going on in the cybersecurity industry in this space. And so it's an opportunity to submit for free. The deadline is May 29th, and we've got a number of categories. One new category this year is federal headquarters, and then we've also added a category for individuals this year, in addition to small, medium, and large companies, as well as startups to watch. So that being said, in my little preamble, Naomi, why don't you give us a little bit about yourself and what you do that kind of within the cybersecurity? What's your role in the cybersecurity ecosystem?
Yeah, so I can tell you a little bit about myself and my role here at CIO Dive. So CIO Dive is part of a company called Industry Dive. Locally, we do B2B media. I in particular focus on business technology for business technologists. And so that covers full stack technology from cloud to cybersecurity to IT spending to leadership generally. And we found that over the years, I've been with the publication for 4 years. Over the years, we found that cybersecurity is one of the principal concerns. And I think you can tell even now as we enter quarantine, as more business change, one of the top 3 priorities for companies has been cybersecurity. And so for us, when we're writing to the CIO and those business technology decision makers generally, we always have to consider cybersecurity as a pillar of focus. And work a lot with understanding the role of privacy, understanding the role of the chief information security officer in an organization, and also just understanding the risks and threats that are out there, especially in a fast changing environment. I think today you're going to see even more threats emerge that kind of hit home as quote unquote bad actors take advantage of a kind of a odd situation we all find ourselves in.
Sure. And so part of your bio also reads that you're a musician and a cook. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, yeah. So
we'll get to know you a little bit.
I have to update my bio. I actually won the Industry Dive Pie competition 3 years in a row, but I was recently dethroned. And so I'm going to have to, hat in hand, come up with something better to cook next year. But can tell you a lot that we've been baking a significant amount of bread, and behind me in the kitchen, my roommate just actually baked another loaf of banana bread. So it's the only limitation is going to be the flour. We're running out of that. And as for music, I've been playing the bassoon. It's a very specific instrument that I've been playing since I was, I believe 10, was a music minor in college, still play locally with an orchestra called the Capital City Symphony. So me and a great number of musicians come together, play fantastic works. Unfortunately, our most recent concert was canceled or postponed until July due to the coronavirus. So I think hopefully if all goes well, we'll have another concert on July 17th and would ask any and all to come and attend.
That'd be awesome. So, well, great. Well, so as I said in my little preamble before, you were a judge last year and you agreed to so graciously become a judge again this year. Can you tell me a little bit about why you agreed to become a judge for these awards?
Yeah, it's curious that we are where we are in terms of the threat landscape, having the federal government here, and also have grown this ripe community of cybersecurity right across the river, right in Arlington. And so there are it's just nice to keep abreast of what's going on in the industry locally. And this is a good opportunity for us to learn about new companies and understand kind of how different organizations are growing and maturing to navigate threats that are emerging, that are impacting business. And so that you can kind of pit it against some of the other hubs that are emerging, like the Enterprise Hub in Seattle and San Francisco with the new tech. I like to think that the DC metro area is evolving into the little cybersecurity hub, and I just want to see it grow. And so judging is my opportunity to kind of understand what's out there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I certainly appreciate it. And so kind of my next question then is, so as a judge, when you get these nominations in, what are you looking for? What's kind of the what makes a winner, if
What
you will?
makes a winner? It's really curious because I think in the business of journalism, I don't know if we're often judges to this sort of thing, but one thing that I tend to look for with anybody, whether that's a company talking to me or as I'm interviewing, is for people to really have a unique pitch, something that doesn't just rely on buzzwords. And so that's a big thing you'll hear in industry is you can tell me AI is the solution to X, Y, and Z, but you really have to show me that you can make an impact with that. And so companies and submissions that are really getting beyond the initial hype and not taking advantage of kind of people's instincts at the time, those tend to be the most standout.
Sure. No, that makes sense. And I know that some other judges have talked about, it's not about the marketing pitch, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's about the problems that the solutions are solving and the tech innovation, right? So that makes complete sense. So last question for you then really is we again, this is shining a spotlight on DC, Maryland, and Virginia as a region. I know we have sometimes these turf battles, right? DC, Virginia, Maryland, but we're trying to do our best to kind of look at this as a region. Can you talk to me a little bit about why you think this region, is such a great place to do business as a cybersecurity company?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the reason that I accidentally got into business technology. I, in my past life as a grad student, was one of the assistants a graduate assistant for the ACES program at the University of Maryland. I joined it in its second year of the program, and it was an undergraduate honors program dedicated to cybersecurity. That just goes to show what kind of investment we have seen here. That was 5-6 years ago now, and it was an early highlight of what industry could become here. And it's just a right place for cybersecurity. You have so much federal government. You have people who leave government service and start entering into and capitalizing on skills they had. And many times those are related to securing information. And it just creates a robust workforce here. You have people who have the credentials that make them good candidates for some of these defense contractors. And in many cases, they want to go out on their own. And so you find a lot of companies emerging in this DC, Virginia, and Maryland region that can just support the demands of the businesses here. And in many cases, the biggest business is the federal government. And so you just see a nice ecosystem of human capital that can support the cybersecurity workforce. I don't think you can expect a concentration like that outside of the DC metro area. I think it's really, really unique to the region and just the business ecosystem that has grown.
Yeah, that's great. So thanks for your time. Again, just as we're closing out, the deadline to submit a nomination or a submission is on May 29th. We probably will host an actual in-person event, hopefully during DC Cyber Week, which is the third week of October. So thanks again, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for having me.